I'd like to introduce our new Dean, Sue Maher, who this is her first year, and so she's gotten kind of a crash course in MAPL all the way through since she's been here, and I'm going to let her talk a few moments about the program.
Thanks, Linda. Cohort 10, congratulations, what a milestone, that's fabulous. I hope to meet the graduates here this afternoon. I met the MAPL cohorts this fall when I was here earlier and spent lunchtime with a number of you, but that was all of you, so I don't remember everybody's face and name, so just wave to me. Blake, Rebecca, Amy, I can talk really loud too. Randy, Jessica, a little feedback here. Matt, Matt, thanks. Ben, and John, and Sherry. Congratulations. This event is about you, not me, so I'm going to keep this short. And the video stole all of my thunder, so it's going to sound very redundant and repetitious. But before I do that, I just want to ask others to wave. If you are a grandparent or parent, a spouse, a partner, a child, a sister, a brother, a cousin, or a MAPL friend or best friend or peer or cohort friend, just wave enthusiastically. Because I want to thank all of you too, because you are a part of why these graduates have made it through to this point and are now graduating from their program. And when you get home today, if you have pets, thank them as well. I know that I appreciate my dogs, especially when I get home after a hard day at work. And I know that this has really been exciting but stressful to do the 2 years in this program. And it takes a lot out of you to be traveling up here on the weekends if you're coming from out of Duluth. And it takes a lot of patience and support and love from all of your family and friends to get you to the point where you are today. So I want to make sure that we acknowledge all of those people who have supported you up to this point, including faculty and our directors, Linda and Y. You came here already as accomplished individuals. You came here with degrees, you came here with work experience, or you wouldn't have been admitted into that cohort to begin with. But now you have all of these new dimensions to your talents. You have new ideas that you're going to take out there to the world, new connections and networks, new mentors, that's really important, and lots of new friends. And as the video pointed out, those bus rides up here and those nights in the hotel were really important as well in shaping your experience in MAPL and shaping who you are at this point. And I kind of envy you that. I can just imagine the kinds of friendly debates that you had, the sharing of perspectives, and sometimes probably some nights just supporting one another when you felt that you needed that too. Graduate work is challenging. And I remember a number of times, both when I was doing my master's program and when I did my PhD, when the combined pressures of sort of being an adult in the world made me wonder whether I should in fact continue on or not. And during those moments in my own graduate career, I found enormous sympathy from my fellow graduate students. And once you arrive at graduation, you can look back and you have this long view. You see more clearly how absolutely important being part of an intellectual community is, and how your peers are another essential reason for why you have gotten to this point today where you are going to be graduating. And here I'm going to fall into cliche, because this is commencement. And as every person who ever addresses a class that is graduating, commencement does not mean the end, right? Commencement means the beginning. So you now have a master's in advocacy and political leadership. And what an important degree this is to have right now at this crossroads in American and Minnesotan history. I just think that this is such a unique and important degree program for this state, for this region, and for this nation. So I wish all of you well on your new ventures, and I hope as new alumni, you think about the best ways down the road that you can give back to your MAPL program and public higher education as well. So congratulations.
Thank you, Dean Maher. I also want to mention that our Chancellor, Chancellor Lindley Black, would have been here, but the UMD football team is in Alabama playing as we speak. I've been trying to get a score to tell you what it is. And he, well, he chose the football team over us. But he, I know, is supportive of the program and will hopefully be able to be with us in the spring.
It's 14-10.
14-10.
14-10 in the fourth quarter.
Who's ahead?
It's
UMD has the ball.
Who's 14?
Delta State.
We had originally scheduled this so that that Linda would seamlessly take care of everything, but I felt the need to, here I go again, to introduce somebody who's been so supportive of MAPL, both from his position as Secretary Treasurer of the AFL-CIO and as a regent at the University of Minnesota. We have a special program with unions in the state, and they provide scholarship help, essentially, to all of our labor students. It really means a lot, and the labor community has coalesced around that, and it's because of Steve Hunter rather than anything else. Now, part of the MAPL deal is that you learn about organizing, and so I want to make sure that everybody here who lives in the state of Minnesota, what you need to do is call your legislator and tell them you'd like to see Steve Hunter reelected to the Board of Regents. Now, since he is the Secretary Treasurer of the AFL-CIO, and the Republican Party is currently in control of both the Senate and the House in Minnesota, let's say his odds are a little bit longer than they were prior to the election. Nonetheless, if you and lots of other folks tell your legislator what a good job this man has done, regardless of your political affiliation, we may just get it done. Steve?
Thank you. I didn't anticipate getting an endorsement coming up here, but I do note that one of the cohorts on the Regent Candidate Advisory Council, so I hope she was listening. I want to thank you for the invitation to come up here. I try to come to as many of these as I can. It seems during the spring I'm always busy with some commencement or another in the Twin Cities. We have a campus down there, too, a coordinate campus. So I haven't been able to be here as often in the spring, but I do really enjoy these. They fill me with hope because I see the cohorts, I see what the students are doing. I always want to call them kids, but I think John's close to my age, so I can't do that. It gives me a lot of hope as we move forward. As an employer, we at the Minnesota AFL-CIO hired Candace Lund quite some time ago, and she's been outstanding. And when we had an opening in our communications staff, I went down to Candace and I said, you know what Jessica Hasten is doing? And she said, well, I'm not sure. I think she's looking for work. And I said, well, make sure she gets an application in. So that led to our second MAPL person working for the AFL-CIO. And I'd love to take credit for all the great work we do, but it is the employees that are in the trenches, the employees that are making the officers look good, and MAPL has certainly been a big part of our success in the state federation. If any of you are in a position to employ people, you can't go wrong by hiring a MAPL graduate. I saw my colleague on the Board of Regents, Maureen Ramirez, another MAPL graduate. I go into this spiel sometime about how I can't do anything without running into a MAPL graduate, but it really is true, especially if you're in the world of advocacy. Y has created this fantastic network that's out there. That's one of the benefits we get from having 2 MAPL graduates in our office, is they tie into that network, and we're way more effective because we do that. Now, the one bone I would pick, however, is Candace is also the steward for the News Guild in our office, and when I have to go to the table to negotiate with them for new labor agreements, she's the one that comes to the table to represent them, and that's hardly a fair fight. But that notwithstanding, I'm extremely happy that this program exists and that it keeps cranking out the kind of people that you have. Early in my career, I have 2 quotes here, I gotta decide which one I want to use. I had the fortunate experience of getting to meet Cesar Chavez, who most of you probably know as an organizer in the Farm Workers Union. And the more I've studied his life, the more I've seen him as a hero, and granted, somebody who I would never really be able to live up to what he did. He's simply an incredible man, but a lot of you are going into a career in advocacy, maybe with a nonprofit, maybe in the labor movement, where you're not going to get wealthy. Quite frankly, if you wanted to get wealthy, there's a business school here, there's one in the Twin Cities that might have been a better route. I think most of you are here because you care, you want to make a change in the world, and I salute you for that, and I thank you for that dedication. And I think I'll use this quote, I think it's appropriate. Cesar once wrote that we can choose to live our lives for others, to bring about a better and more just world for our children. People who make that choice will know hardship and sacrifice. But if you give yourself totally to the nonviolent struggle for peace and justice, you will also find that people give you their hearts, and you will never go hungry and never be alone. And in giving of yourself, you will discover a whole new life of meaning and love. I want to thank you for your willingness to go through this program, and I want to thank you for the great work you're going to do. Thank you.